Welcome back. This is the Poet is a Human with the Philosopher Dunamis on this week's episode number 28. My gosh! Fight for Friends. Please be sure to hit that like button on your way in. And if you like us, consider subscribing to keep up with our episodes on YouTube and give us a follow on X.
Fightcast is here to empower individuals to live healthier, master their finances, pursue their dreams, and inspire others through self awareness and global impact. As always, this is for entertainment and educational purposes only and not financial advice.
Dunamis, how goes it?
It's going great, man. This week, holy cow, this week has been the week that I've needed, the culmination of what I've needed for a long time. And so, just like, I'm dating again, but I went out and got my first tattoo this week, got
Hey.
ink, and met up with lots of friends. Went out and did karaoke again, and that's something that's becoming a regular thing for me. It's been a lot of fun, and there's lots of people to meet there. And then on top of that, I found that church men's group that I said I was going to look for, and they didn't meet this week, but they've already reached back out to me and next Tuesday. So I'm super excited about that, man. Everything seems to be coming together in a really great way. And so, how are you feeling, buddy?
Dude, first of all, that's excellent. I really, before I even say what's up with me, I just want to give my hats off to you. You're out there, you're socializing, you're just sharpening yourself, you're conversing with just, it sounds like a good group of people, man. Because I mean, you're going out, so you're going to the right places. So kudos to you, my dude. Kudos to you.
Awesome.
And to answer your question, I'm spectacular, brother. I'm actually somewhat of the opposite, but still trying to find that balance, or still finding that balance, I should say.
Mhm.
I'm in the house, locked in, album mode right now. Cozy Chronicles Part 2 coming out, y'all. No ETA yet. The recording experience has been fantastic. I got my new microphone, so I have just been having heyday with it. Just a lot of the stuff that I've done already, I'm just applying it into the new microphone. So it's just been really fun to hear the difference. And shout out to Marilyn, who has been my original microphone for 14 years. She has done an excellent job. But you know, over time, as you develop, you're meant to hear the difference. So that's great.
Is that this
the-
microphone that you're using here? Because it sounds fantastic.
yeah, this microphone is still a Genesis, or MXL is the name of the brand. MXL Genesis microphone. The original one that I had was just the Genesis. Now this one is an MXL Genesis Heritage Edition. So
Okay.
this one's it's up there. It's up there, and I love the MXL brand. It's done me very well. It really fits into the vintage sound that I've gone for in my earlier career, and it's just something that I've sharpened over time. So I've been nerding out with it, man. But I've been getting out. I've been getting out here and there, doing a few things, and just still feeling alive. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, this subject is it's not quite as heavy as the last one. We're talking about solitude. It's actually the almost a little bit of the opposite. It's more like it feels more like fun mode than
Yeah.
than anything else. But it's important, I think, to hang out, especially with other guys. And I know that there's men and women, I'm sure, that listen to this podcast. But so if you're a woman, this goes for hanging out with your women friends. But getting together with other guys, because and we've talked offline about how men suffer in silence,
Yeah.
and I think that's something that has been something that I've dealt with personally, especially in the last 4 years. But it's great, man. It's great to know that there are people out there that at any point in time I reach out, they're there for me, and I've reconnected with some friends that I haven't talked to in a long time. So it's it means a lot when you hear from your bro, and even if it's just, hey, let's go out and grab a beer, or let's go fishing, or whatever it
Right.
is. That's something I need to probably get into more. Is fishing. Sounds like that would be a relaxing thing as well.
I wouldn't mind that. And a good buddy of mine, and I say good buddy, I say that loosely. He's actually like a brother to me, and I've known him since we were kids, elementary school. Shout out to Ryan, who is also featured on the Full Moon Chronicles. I promise this podcast is a human self promoting platform. But anyways, he does tennis. He does tennis, and I'd love to take up some tennis. I think that that would be really cool to do. And he also, he's got his DIY. He's got his man workshop downstairs in the basement, which is really dope. So I like the when we do visit, I like to see what he does. He's very much his own tailor man, which is very dope. I've always appreciated that about him, and I think that it's really important to guys relate to other guys, and that's by design. So I feel that when you have that outlet, and the more vulnerable you're able to be, the more I feel you'll be able to bond with your dudes. And I've been able to get really deep with a lot of, you know, close friends of mine just about how I feel about things, and just even how I feel after reactions.
Mhm.
And I think that those are pieces of the puzzle that, like, for the longest time we were told that that wasn't really a thing, versus now, I mean, it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's
Mhm.
been okay to cry, actually. That's what I want to normalize. Like, that stuff was never not okay. We were just told it wasn't okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been feeling through the dynamics of how to relate with people again. If you've been in a period of solitude for, any extended period of time, you have to regain your frame and have the right frame as you're interacting with different people. And it's interesting. I was looking into the different meanings of the word love translated in Greek, because we say things like "I love you, bro," or "I love my kids," or you would say that to maybe your significant other, "I love you." But that word in English is it's a word that gets just crunched up, and there's six different words in Greek. There's agape, which is unconditional love. You have
Mm,
eros, which is the sexual, and philia, which is friendship between equals, and that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. And then the others, there's one storge, which is affection of parents and children. Um, I don't know if I'm pronouncing these right. Philautia looks like self love, regards for one's own happiness or advantage.
yeah.
And then you have xenia, which is hospitality or guest friendship or ritualized friendship. So there are these very the word love is too broad. The what we're saying is
Yeah.
you need to have more philia, you need to have more friendship between equals. So there's no and this is with men and women. I think men that date should actually look at their dating relationships in the same way. You should have a friendly relationship. It's really a job interview process. You don't want to make it feel like a job interview process, but you go out, and whether you're meeting with men or with women, you want to keep the energy as between equals. And yeah, I've been focused on that, focused on having that between equals energy with people, and I think that means a lot, and it's important for me probably right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Dude.
I just want to say that, like, what was crazy also this week was that we reached out to FREN, to the FREN token, Jeff.FREN, and he has always been a very approachable guy. He's always been the type of guy that he's not so full of himself that he doesn't listen, or I noticed that very very quickly from
Yeah.
our trip to Austin.
Yeah.
And
He's not even close to full of himself. Like, that doesn't even fit into his repertoire,
no,
honestly. Like, he's so cool.
that's exactly it, man. He responded right back and said that he would be glad to come and spend some time with us today. So we've got him to be able to talk to about friendship, and what an opportunity to talk to other members of the Cardano community about this too. I think this is, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is really really important, and I'm excited that we're going to get to bring him on here in a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm super excited to chat with him and everything that he's got going on. And another thing that I want to mention about Jeff, and I know he's gonna chat a little bit about it, is just his overall framework and how it really is an embodiment of decentralization. So I really want to highlight that. Just looking, into when you're talking about Cardano, when we talk about what decentralization means, I feel like his organization and what he has going on over there in his camp. Is a good embodiment of that. So, again, we'll tap in a little bit more about that when he's here. But yeah, just to get y'all all wound up.
Definitely. So, what sort of things have you been doing, Izzy, to you mentioned how you've been really focused on the album, and I imagine that takes a certain amount of self-isolation. Do you make a conscious effort to put something in your schedule every week to go out and have fun? I mean, that's something that I'm just starting to realize you have to be sort of active about.
Yeah, I do. And I do it in a way where I've got it set up in my head where I'm going to do these things first and then do this thing afterwards. So I had a list of things that I told myself I was going to do, and I did those things, had my last hoorah of being outside. And then from there, I told myself all of that energy is going to now be transferred into this project. So that's what I did. In the middle or during, it's more of just making sure that I get outside, making sure that I'm working out, making sure that I'm meditating, because I know that I'm in that solitude. I know that I'm here. I know that I'm locked in. That's not to say that I can't go to the grocery store. And those things help too. There isn't this cabin fever that I
Mhm.
have because of this routine that I've developed. And I also talk with the same people every day that you're one of them
Mhm.
every day. That too, it keeps you it's you're able to just stay sharpened and multitasking. So it's deeper than just that. It's just like, okay, I'm multitasking. I'm able to be grounded here, be grounded there, like still be normal. Don't
Mhm.
be don't be all itchy to be like, dog, I gotta get off the phone. I can't talk right now. And just to sit at your computer desk, because
Mhm.
that's the other thing too, and I think a lot of artists can attest to this. A lot of the times when you're making music, a lot of times you're just sitting there staring at a computer.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's just what you're doing. So like, all right, cool. I'm gonna either sit here and stare at this computer, or like, hey, what's up, bro? What's going on with you? You know what I mean? Like that's a breath of fresh air. Let's hear about what you're doing,
Mhm.
please. What's up? Talk to me. But anyways, yeah. So that's what I do.
And the connection. I think that connection, the remote connection, where we're talking about over the phone or on the internet, or even just uh, having that personal in-person interaction. I think the problem that I had was I let it go too long, where I wasn't actually face to face with people. If you let that
Mm,
happen for, like, I think a month or months at a time, that can really wear on people. So
sure.
that's been the important thing for me, is to get out and see. But I definitely think that in stretches, definitely what you're doing is the right way to go. That's the default. That's the default life of a working person. You should be focused on what it is. That's what we talk about the entire time through this podcast. You're focused in on what it is that God's purpose is for your life, and then you're letting those other things kind of come. And yeah, it's strange. I think I probably got too pigeonholed into not just my purpose, but it was really for a while there, focusing on trying to find a job, and being anxious about that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, when you're focused on that and when you're thinking about all of the reasons why you have to do this and you have to focus on this and the things that you inevitably start thinking that you don't have because of this, then it creates a whole rabbit hole of just not having and then
mhm,
seeing others that have the things that you want, or just seeing things that you want that you feel like you can't have. So it just becomes that whole mentality when you see what you actually have and what you're doing, and that's the thing too. You and I feel like we have a tangible, we have a podcast together, we have other things that we're working on together, we have tangibles that we can tell each other as reassurance that this is what we have working on, whereas I feel others may not have those types of
Mhm.
tangibles, and it's more of a mental aspect of just being thankful to be alive, when someone could just tell you, well, what is there to be thankful about? Like, I have nothing, and then there's that objection that you have to overcome within yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, and I promised that we wouldn't get dark in this particular episode, but yeah,
Sure
those
went there, didn't I?
just a little bit, but it's good, man. Like there's it's hard sometimes understanding what or coming up with a reason for continuing, but I do think that man, I'm not the person or in the place to be able to give advice in that area, but I would just say that remembering that God loves you, and that it's every day that you wake up and you're taking a breath, man, is a day that you can continually get better. That's what is helping me to not have the anxiety, I think, anymore, is understanding that every day I wake up now, I can go and hit the gym. I can go and take my walk. I can go and work on this podcast. I can go and put in some job applications. I can do what I need to do to grow. And so it doesn't matter my circumstances quite so much. I mean, I'm okay. I'm taken care of. But in terms of those things that I would normally be anxious about, it's kind of strange trying to get to a peaceful place in an uncomfortable circumstance while you're still in that uncomfortable circumstance. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And so I think good things are right around the corner, though.
I see a lot of great things happening for us, man, and a lot of great things are happening. So
Oh
we
yeah,
just gotta keep taking it one second at a time, as we always do, man. As we always do.
definitely. And you know, when we bring Jeff on, and I've noticed you mentioned the decentralization, just the size of the community of the friends that and how active their Discord is definitely well beyond what we have going on with ours. But what I find really amazing about both that project and Hosky, when I first came into Cardano and got excited about Hosky, was the fact that these projects don't really promise anything. You've got these other projects out there that say, yeah, we're coming out with and I'm not going to say anything to badmouth any particular project, but projects that have all of these things that they're working on that they're promising, and whether it's a meme coin project or not. And then you have a project like Hosky that's like, we promise that we'll always be worthless. So I just like that. What it did is it disarmed me enough to be able to have fun with Hosky, and the same thing with Friend. The fact that friendship is the utility is means that it's something that's fun. It's not a financial. None of this is financial advice. Anytime we're talking about meme coins, it will never be financial advice. But it's something that's fun, and it is a way that people have made money in the past. And it is a way that if you know what you're doing, you can make money. But it is also a way that you can lose a lot of money. So it's something to have fun with, and I think Jeff has the right vision and idea there, and so that's why I think it's really cool that we're going to get to talk to him.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you for that. Yeah, he has that, just that. It's a good integrable vision, and just the way it is. I think it shows the back end infrastructure of the way that they flow, which is, how I am, y'all. I'm the esoteric one. I
Hmm.
love flow, so I feel like he's got good flow, good feng shui, good people, good conversation, and the work they put in. They just have a very nice blossoming manifestations, and people are attracted to that. The right people are attracted to that because you attract the right people.
Absolutely. Regarding holding friends accountable, I think more than just the good feels, I think a friend is somebody that will call you out on your bullshit if they see bullshit happening in your life.
They should. Accountability, because they
Hmm.
would want the same.
Absolutely.
You want a friend that's going to hold themselves accountable, in return hold you accountable, but be able to do it in a way that's healthy. And everybody's different. Not everybody speaks the same language. Approaching people different too. It's not being two faced. It's just knowing your audience. It's just knowing that not everybody responds the same.
Yeah.
So that's really just knowing your way. That's crowd working, as the comedians or stage presence would call it. And I think friends too. Friends should also give you that space to dream as well. You know, it's more, you've got logic, you've got your rationale, but at least being able to sort out the imagination. And I think again, the friends that you have really come down to the type of person that you are. And even people outside of your closest atmosphere, just even people that you don't really know, people that you run into super center stores.
Hmm.
If you're one of those people, you walk into a store and you hold your head high and you see people, you acknowledge them, you say hello, you see the little kid, you smile when they do something cute, that kind of deal. You have a presence to you. You have an aura. People are gonna, be more prone to at least look at you and be like,
Hmm.
oh, this person looks like they're in a good mood. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well. Like that makes people's day. I don't think people realize how much that makes people's day. Just being able to say, "Hey, how are you?" and just knowing that like you're in a store and like you're in like it makes you feel safe in a
Yeah.
way. It makes you feel like, "Oh, like that was a nice person. Like I'm in a good store. I'm okay today."
Hmm.
Like there's just something that the mind like your mind just feels in that space too.
I think even more as it's something that I've tried to be a little bit more aware of, and I've never been a tattooed person before, but I'm starting to think that I think probably the more intimidating that a person looks, the more important it is for them to project an aura of peacefulness and calmness, you know?
Yes. Yes. Agreed. Agreed. And I know I don't want to say this,
Yeah.
so maybe I shouldn't say this, but I have noticed that in certain areas that I'm at, that I'm just more observant of people and just how I approach things, because I know ultimately it's on me, and
Mhm.
I'm not the person that's going to leave it to the refs to call the game for me. I'm going to be the player that's going to make the coach that's going to make the right play call.
Mhm.
Put the right player in, and just call audibles as needed. But nonetheless, I digress.
Man, this is great, and I one of the things I'm wondering now too is as somebody's going out and meeting new people and, you know, all of the difficulty that goes along with that and who do you trust and who do you not trust? I mean, what what do you think makes friendship truly real? You know, and how do you know that somebody is a real friend?
Mm, I think that's not loaded necessarily. I think for me at least, it's really just based off of integrity of that person. Like, are they really the person that they say that they are? Are they really doing the things that they're actually talking about? Are they walking the talk? And you see those things, I think that tells you a lot about somebody. And when you have people that don't exhibit that, I think that's pretty clear cut that that's not really somebody that, just to say it for lack of better words, somebody that I don't see myself breaking bread with,
Mhm.
you know, and that's really big for me, through all aspects of it. And it can go out in many branches of your brotherhood, in certain circumstances, situations, whatever it may be. But I think that's the biggest thing right there. I can say with you and I, we've met each other in person. We've been doing this for 28 weeks. We talk day in, day out. You and I aren't afraid to unleash some of our wildest imaginations, and I don't think any of us feel that they're far-fetched. That's the best part about our brotherhood and our friendship, is that there's nothing far-fetched with us, and that makes me very comfortable to just be me and express my ideas and feelings and be vulnerable. So I think when you have that in your relationship, then that speaks volumes. And just somebody knowing that you can call them no matter what time it is, and or they're going to get the message. And if it's an emergency, then
Hmm.
it's gonna, things are going to happen. It's going to go down. we're
Yeah.
we're going to get there. And I think we have that established between us, and I
Hmm.
have that established, I feel like, with a couple others, or a few others, I should say. Whoever's listening to this podcast said a couple, a couple, a few others.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good because I've never had a lot of friends, but I've tried to have high quality friends, and
yeah, yeah.
it is a continual, like you're saying, there's sometimes you have to cut off, and sometimes I still have to occasionally stop talking to unhealthy relationships, but I do think that it's like a river where you're always going to try and fill that pool up with more people. So I think that's about going out. People need to be a little bit more active and unafraid of just going out and having fun, and don't be afraid to talk to people, because I think too many people are just unnecessarily afraid to talk to strangers. So
Yeah. Yeah. We've made it so awkward these days to
it
talk to
is.
people. And even when you're trying to date, it's not normal to just talk or bump into somebody at Walmart in some home decor section and say, "Oh, wow. I was going to get the same shower liner as you were. Hi, my name is Betsy. Hi, my name is Richard." And it's just like we don't get
Yeah.
those Tom Hanks freaking what's the name of the movie with it, the love you letter,
Oh, yeah. Is
P-
that the You Got
oh,
Mail or something?
You've Got Mail, there it is. Yeah, we don't get the You've Got Mail movies. We don't get those. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a hopeless romantic. You know what I mean? I'm still like, all right, I'm gonna run into one at the library. So, or book club. Maybe I'm performing at the NPR Tiny Desk
Oh,
concert.
yeah.
Maybe I'm doing that.
Heck yeah, man, I see it.
Threw it out
Oh,
there. It's playing seeds, man.
I love it, man. And, that or some big music festival, That'd be pretty cool too.
Right. Just all of a sudden, just they're selling my T-shirt third party, and I just ran into it, and I buy the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Oh
Oh,
man,
man.
good
Well,
stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Is it time? Is it
I
time?
alright. Yeah, I think it's time to bring our guest on today. It's been a while since we had a special guest on. This
It
is
has. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Jeff from FREN Token, and, what I was saying here just before we got on was how approachable you are, Jeff. It was so cool getting to meet you at the Intersect annual members meeting there in Austin. And if you can, tell us about yourself. Tell us about Friend Token and what friendship is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, my name is Jeff. I started off in crypto probably back in 2020. It was COVID and everyone was talking about investing and figured I'd dip my toes in. And, I felt like I was drawn more towards crypto than regular stocks, mainly because of the 24-hour cycle that you could get involved with. But, the ideals behind it always made sense to me too. The search for decentralization and privacy and having all the transparency that's involved with it too. I really thought was important, and especially moving into a new economic system, it made sense to me. So um, with Friend, we started back in 2023 in December. We had a free NFT mint to start it off, and those were the ADA Peepos. From there, the community really rallied hard, and it was kind of the beginning of the broader meme season that we saw. And the community just kind of asked for a token, and we kind of decided that it would be kind of fun to do. And we just kind of ran with it. So we had the token launch about a week or two after the NFT mints. Had our initial run up around Christmas time of that year, and since then we've just been in the trenches. We've been doing a lot in real life, going to events, as well as on chain. We have a trading bot that we have been working with a development team for, and it's really seen a lot of growth in the last 5 to 6 months. So it's been a lot of fun.
That,
And then, yeah, what friendship means to me. I mean, to me, it's just finding people that they have similarities with you, but at the end of the day, they'll always have your back. They'll always be people that you can go to if you need advice, or someone to yap to, or just someone to hang out with. I think friendship is always there, and for us as humans, it's something that we've always kind of desired, and it's kind of why we have society that's structured the way that we do, in my opinion. But yeah, we can go into that more later too.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I love the energy in your Discord as well. I've spent some time obviously in your Discord server, and it's always very inviting, and it really is a very friendly place. And I just I love that. I love that friendship is the utility, is the thing for it. And in terms of Cardano, what was there something that made you choose Cardano or drew you to Cardano originally to want to get involved in this community?
Yeah, to me, the ethos that it was built on was pretty big. When I was kind of scoping out the crypto scene, it was kind of Bitcoin and all these other coins, and none of them really had the ethos that Cardano did in terms of true decentralization and on-chain governance and liquid staking the way that we have it. So that was initially what kind of brought me in. And I think at the time too, ETH was really popping off. It was DeFi season, NFTs were going off. So for me, it was like, okay, I can't afford $400 of gas. Like, let me search for an alternative, because I'm a degen. I got in with NFTs. I do meme coins. I trade utility coins. I do it all. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer with low transaction fees and things like that. And obviously, we've had our issues over the last few years, kind of trying to live up to the hype that I think a lot of people set those expectations to, which
Mhm.
it kind of is what it is. But I think we're in a much better spot today, and it's definitely exciting to be this involved with the community.
Yeah, I know. I sometimes wonder if it helps just to tune out some of the noise, because, I feel like I've jumped into more Cardano spaces that were just it sounded like a bunch of shouting matches, and I couldn't listen for more than about 5 minutes. But at the same time, like, nothing has changed in the technology from when they've been following their roadmap. I feel like it's there has been some drama. Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah, there has been some drama, but I mean, to be honest, like, the tech has changed. It's only gotten better.
Better,
It's
exactly.
it's only improved. I still talk to people that they came over when Sunday Swap launched. What was that? 2021,
Mhm.
2022. Talking about, oh, it took a week for my transaction to go through, and it's like, okay, well, in 2025, Cardano moves a lot differently. You don't have to wait more than a few seconds, depending on what contract the token is trading on. But
I
yeah,
rem I
things are a lot
remember
better.
that. I remember that epoch. There was I remember the epoch where we basically almost broke the chain, where Hosky had everybody sending their little two ADA microtransactions for Hosky tokens. It was when the Doggy Bowl first launched.
Yeah,
That was a fun time, man. That was back in
yeah,
2021, I think. So
yeah. It
yeah.
was it was a lot of fun, just doing degenerate stuff on chain to see where we can break it and how we can fix it. I think honestly, we kind of need to bring that mentality back, where it's just break shit and try to fix it, because with those fixes come better technology, better tools. Um, you just learn more about the chain, to be honest. So
Uh,
Yeah, I think that there's something to be said with that. When you look at just those minute things that over time they're just pieces. They're pieces to like a 1,000 piece puzzle. You know what I mean? And the more you can get intricate, and like the more you can learn about those things, I feel like that's really dope. And Yeah, I love that. I've got a few more questions, but Dunamis, I'm sorry, you were in the midst of asking a question.
Oh no, I was just I think that's really cool. I agree with everything that you're saying about Cardano, and I do think that we've got some interesting days ahead, and I would like to see us regain some of that fun joy that came from those early days of Cardano again. I think that that can come back. So
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, absolutely agree. Because as much as there is the drama, at the end of the day, people are here for the same reason, and they want to see Cardano succeed, or else there wouldn't be drama.
Right. And
definitely.
getting back to that, yeah, and I think drama is drama at the end of the day, and I think that all of that's just it's just nuance to what's happening, and I think that that's also created such a powerful narrative too, that it's now it has its own ecosystem and its own developments, and it's not necessarily literally technical. It's just more hearsay than anything. But to kind of piggyback off of that, I wanted to ask you earlier because and I wanted to highlight decentralization, as being one of your whys when you were looking into this space, and just how you apply that that decentralization ethos into your community with your creators, and just how you make overall decisions.
Yeah. So we are trying to implement some new things. I've been talking with the CTO team to try to get some sort of DAO structure together. That way, people can actually have a say and more of a desire to participate if
Hmm.
they so choose. And we've got different things set up that I think will be perfect testing grounds for that, so to speak. Because with FriendBot, we have portion of the fees going to Friends for Good. So initially, what we did with that was we helped out Consensus, and they're a Cardano project that is looking to onboard refugees onto the blockchain. So
Cool.
we worked with them, and we helped purchase all of the tablets that they would need. We helped supply some friends so that they would have a token that they could get some trading practice with and stuff like that. But it would be really nice to get some more community input on what to do with the rest of that, and just to develop it further, because as the trading bug gets more adoption, obviously more fees are going to be coming towards that. So
Right.
to get more of a community say, I think would be really really fun for that. And then to just kind of snowball it into the rest of what FREN is. Because at the end of the day, we are a community takeover. I'm not the one who minted the NFTs or the token. I'm just, the guy that stepped up when shit hit the fan. So
Yeah.
I think trying to keep the community involved with all of the, at least some of the bigger stuff is good. Obviously, I think um, it's important to have somebody kind of making executive decisions, but I think in terms of like where do we want to take the brand, like it definitely will fall on more of the community to help bring that to where it needs to be. So
I love that. I love that, man. What you've just said, and I want to say this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it literally means to apply utility into your brand. It's not just a word that sticks out, or you just put up on the billboard. When you look into it, you recognize the utility and what friend means. So I really appreciate you answering that, man, because I think that when you look at things as a whole, it's like, what do you do it for? What's your why? And even if you're working retail, right? We're just going to go outside of the scope of, like, let's say working retail at Under Armour. If I love Under Armour, it's the most comfortable shoe, and this and that and the third, and I work at an Under Armour retail store, I'm going to feel more like confident in selling my product, because like this is tested and true, and it's different for everyone, but I really think that this would be a good starting point for you, versus like, honestly, man, I hate this shoe, but it's on sale. So, if not, just come back and get the more expensive shoe. Okay. So,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I just want to kind of go back into the friend token and mention for people that don't know. I and you did mention that as a trading pair to get practice, what we've tried to share with our audience, we had an episode Fight for Money, and we had another episode Fight for Cardano, and we haven't really talked a lot about meme tokens, but funny enough, but one of the things that we did mention was the purpose of trading pairs. So the idea is, if you're buying a token like FREN, you're trying to buy that token when it's at a certain price on the chart, and your idea is to exit with more ADA than when you entered. And if you're looking at a pair, let's say, you can apply the same thing to ADA and BTC. If you're looking at the ADA BTC valuation, you can buy ADA when it's cheap in Bitcoin terms, and then when the bull run is near its end, you can sell that ADA back into Bitcoin, help to keep some of that value through the bear market. And so we're very much about trying to teach these sorts of financial concepts. One of the things I just wanted to, I know that was very long, but that's to mention that FREN token is a fixed asset. It is a fixed supply asset. And if you could sort of touch on that, and maybe how somebody would trade a meme token to help, improve their own portfolio.
Yeah. Well, I think you definitely hit some good points, Dynamis. It's all about risk, and if you really need to stick to a plan if you want to be that risky, in my opinion. If my advice to people just coming into crypto is pretty much stick to Bitcoin. And if you don't know what you're doing, just buy some Bitcoin. You'll learn how to trade the more you do it. So you just kind of have to, stick with one, in my opinion. But when it comes to meme coins, you definitely want to have a bit more of a strategy. You want, to stick to those exits if that's what you set. Otherwise, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. It could plummet overnight when you're in bed.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just want to really stick to whatever plan you have. Same idea. If you want to just stack ADA, then you want to enter that trade and exit with more ADA than you entered. So I think those are very good strategies to deploy. And I think from there, it's just a matter of if you like the meme, that's really important. If you like the community, if they're doing something that you really vibe with, like there's some great tokens on Cardano that are creating real world value, or just great content, and there's nothing wrong with supporting that if that's what you like. I think there's a lot of drama involved with telling people what to do with their funds and things like that. But if you enjoy it, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the same as going to the casino and maybe dropping 100 on black just for the fun. You might not hit every time, but when you do, you might feel good. But for me, it's really just been about providing that community, because I think where a lot of meme coins go wrong is just they don't really listen to the community. They don't cater to the community. They don't boost up the community when it needs to be. So at the end of the day, like we've said, friendship is the utility, and if that's not what we are providing first, then we're just doing it wrong.
I love it, man. I love it. That's awesome. Izzy, did you have some more thoughts you wanted to share?
Nah, man. I mean, he hit the nail right there on the coffin with all of that. And just, I mean, again, utility and FREN and all of that. And we just have to continue to stay focused in why we're here and why we were even here in the first place. I've said this in a lot of episodes, Jeff, where we all had the mindset that we wanted there to be quote unquote change, because we didn't like how things were going on in this quote unquote real world. So we created our own, set of standards to, build this better world. And at times it seems as though history is repeating itself. And that's we can't be afraid to take that leap of faith and to have more projects like this, that it's not a hard mentality because it was the initial mentality, but to just take that leap of faith and all of that, I feel that will soon be that snowball effect that you were mentioning earlier, and just the community falling into place. And I feel that that's going to be something contagious for a lot of these other projects, and then in return that builds trust and integrity and the ecosystem that we've always wanted.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I can also ask Jeff regarding, the future of FREN, because it's something that we don't really know, but we're both building brands here, and so the potential for the meme, the people meme, and merch, or even potentially like cartoons or other media. I mean, it feels like there's potentially unlimited ways that you could go. Have you thought about it, or what sorts of things you might want to have team members work on?
Yeah, it's definitely something that we're always kind of looking for because, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to see Friend grow into one of the biggest brands on Cardano. I don't think anyone would kid themselves if they didn't want to see that happen. For us, yeah, we're exploring more content. We're working with a creative studio right now that is going to be making more GIFs for us and just leveling up the content in general. So I'm super stoked for that, and hopefully, we can start off with the GIFs and really take it to the next level after that. Um, in terms of what's next, I mean, we're always looking to leave our mark somewhere. So, if someone's coming to me asking if they can use Friend for their NFTs, absolutely. We want friendship to be all over Cardano, involved with every project that we can possibly be involved with. We've got a partnership with someone who owns a World Mobile Token node. So we are going to be working with them as well to have a staking site and all of that stuff for people that hold World Mobile Token that they can go and stake to a friend node, and a portion of those fees will go to buying and burning friend as well as more charity stuff. So I think that is good because it kind of builds upon what we've already done. But I really do like the burn mechanisms, mainly because I think the supply of friend is too big. So we just got to cut that down as much as we can. But also, it's not like overpromising anything. It's just, hey, we're adding something new. It's going to bring some revenue to the table, and we're going to, just buy and burn some supply off of the market. To be honest, I think that's really what most meme coins need, is just some sort of gimmick like that, where
Uh-huh.
the stuff that happens in the real world that essentially the community helped build because they invested in the project to begin with, and they were posting on Twitter or whatever. It kind of goes back to them in a way, and maybe that isn't always a burn. Maybe it's just zapping the ADA into a liquidity pool or something like that. I think it's certainly good to invest in your community with those sorts of initiatives.
That's so crazy to me that, right, like I have never thought of a burn in that way until you described it right now. But I just see it as the inverse now of the Federal Reserve printing money, is to make your money worthless, is they're
Yeah.
basically burning the money to make your money worth more. That's awesome.
Yeah, and especially because we are buying it off the market. I know there's a lot of conversation about that, but at the end of the day, like, there's less supply in circulation, and if people are wanting to get into the community at that point, they'll have to probably pay a premium to do so. I think the math just makes sense, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. And again, this is not financial advice. We say that all the time with this stuff, but I will say that I have a wallet for my AI agent Guantes, and he's been dollar cost averaging friend, and I'm very happy to hear that you say that stuff. So very, very cool. Um, let's let's just kind of wrap up, I think, a little bit more on the personal stuff. And Jeff, I just want to say that we've in this podcast we tend to touch on a lot of men's topics. It's not always men's topics, but I think that it's important for men to have other men friends that they can reach out to. In particular, me and Izzy have been talking a lot about how it's important to be able to share things, to be able to to especially when you're struggling, and for that not to be a situation where you're chasing the opposite sex. So to put it bluntly, but what do you think about having guy friends, and how important is that, especially in 2025?
Well, I think it's the most important, to be honest. I when I was in undergrad, I was in a fraternity, so I've been up close and personal with a lot of that kind of stuff. And to be honest, there were some friends that might not have made it if it weren't for some advice that was given to them from myself or for other brothers. So, if that's something that you're struggling with, like, definitely seek some help, seek some friends, seek whatever you need to, because you matter. We need you.
Absolutely. And let's just, that should be a message to anyone out there that struggles with mental illness of any kind. So if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling hopeless, reach out, call somebody. Let June, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, be the month that we reconnect also with old friends. I think that's something that we can do. There's some friends here in San Antonio that I haven't talked to since I was in middle school, and I just want to reach out and go have a beer with them and whatnot, see how things have been. So
Yeah, friendship is always a two-way street. You never know what people are going through, but all it takes is just one message, one DM, one "Hey, you wanna go hang out" to make all the difference. So
Yeah, not being afraid to make that move and take that initiative of someone being on your mind and just hitting them up and just saying, "Hey, I was just thinking of you." It's weird. I was just sitting out here and the wind was blowing, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, how you been?" Just but little things like that go a long way, and a smile goes a long way too. It's another thing.
oh, absolutely. I think the younger kids these days think that that kind of stuff is cringe, but again, you never know what people are going through, and can make the world of a difference just by reaching out and seeing what's up.
Exactly. Put your phones down, y'all. You don't have to walk. You don't have to be on your phone and pretend to scroll when you walk past somebody. Just look at them and smile. You don't have to strike a conversation for 25 seconds. Just smile and keep it pushing. It's okay. It's okay.
that's it. And we all just need to be kind. I think be kind to just like you said, you don't know what other people are going through. We talked about Killdozer Day in the last episode, and yeah, I mean some people are dealing with a lot. So yeah, that's all great advice. Jeff, I want to just thank you again for taking the time. It just you're just a classy guy. You're a great project leader. I have so much respect for both Fren and Hosky, are two of them. I know I'm not leaving other tokens out by mistake. I'm just saying that these are tokens that have real community, and they don't promise a lot. And that actually is means a lot to me. I got into Hosky originally because they didn't promise anything, and so the fact that friendship is a utility, I think, is fantastic. I think meme coins are supposed to be fun, and thank you so much, Jeff, for your time and being a great guy.
Yeah, of course, and I would
Yeah.
definitely agree with that. If it's better to promise, just a little bit and then deliver the world if that's the case. But at the minimum, you will get some friendship.
Absolutely, awesome. Well, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again soon, man.
Yeah, sounds good. I appreciate you guys for having me on the podcast.
Awesome.
Yes. Appreciate you. Man, that was everything and more. That was everything and more.
It
Shout out to
is.
Jeff. Shout out to Fren, and just shout out to the whole organization and what they got going on. And again, this is a good look.
Oh
This
yeah.
is a this is a very good look.
I love it. I mean, there's so many, we even mentioned the drama, but, Cardano projects, Friend is really, they embody what the best kind of Cardano project, and we'll just leave it at that. They're quality people,
Yeah, 1,000%. The finest.
the very finest.
Wax can.
And hey, if you made it all the way to the end, be sure to drop a clap emoji down there in the comments. And next week, I think we're going to fight for strength, Izzy. I'm excited. We got another special guest coming up, and we'll
Ooh,
find out who that is soon.
Back to back.
Back to back this time.
You guys liking these guest features? Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Definitely. And hey, man, until next time, never give up the fight.
Never give up the fight.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds, they can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drag the chains, you can say no, free